Welcome to the AACFB's 2022 Meet the Funder webinar series. My name is Monica Harper. I'm the Executive Director of the AACFB, and I will be your host. Our presenters today are Caitlin Keefe and Mark Sheehan from TimePayment. TimePayment is both a funding source member and a gold sponsor of the AACFB, and I'd like to thank them for their support of the association. Before I turn it over to Caitlin and Mark, I'd like to go over a few items to make this webinar more enjoyable and informative for everyone. During the presentation, you should see a Q&A box that allows you to ask questions. If you have any questions during the presentation, please submit your questions in the box and they'll be answered by the end of the webinar. We will answer questions as we go along. Please reserve the chat box for communication between attendees. The entire webinar should take no more than 30 to 45 minutes. And for those who'd like to review this at a later date, it will be posted on the 2022 Meet the Funder page of the AACFB website, and it will be emailed out to the AACFB membership. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Caitlin and Mark. It's all yours.
Thank you, Monica. We appreciate participating today, and we sincerely appreciate being a member of the AACFB. We kind of took the last couple of years off, but we've kind of re-engaged and we're going to all the shows now and excited to be part of it and meeting people once again. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to go through a couple of slides, just kind of give you an overview of TimePayment, who we are, where we came from, where we're going. And then I'll turn it over to Caitlin and she'll go into more of the process of how we do things. So Caitlin, if you want to go to the first slide. So the TimePayment's been around for about 35 years. A lot of people don't know that. We are privately held. We are owned by a company called Fortress, which is a private equity firm based up in the New England area. And they are owned by SoftBank. SoftBank is a Japanese conglomerate. It's the top, I think it's like the 34th largest company in the world. So we're very well backed. Again, we've been around for about 35 years. We started off as a thesis for an MIT student. He had studied, he's probably more of a professional student than he was an entrepreneur because he only owned TimePayment for a couple of years. And he's got 8 advanced degrees. So again, one of them was a thesis that he did on doing credit underwriting and doing it fast and quick. He did that 35 years ago. And up until last Friday, we were still running on that same COBOL written program on an IBM mainframe. So a lot of people think of TimePayment as kind of being in the fintechy, and we are. All the surrounding systems are newer. It's just our base system was old, and we are going through the process of updating that even as we speak. Like I said, it started last Friday and it continues now. We're kind of half up and half down right now. But the new enhancements that we'll get will be incredible. It's going to make us faster to market, allow us to implement changes quicker. For example, over the weekend, we found something, we needed to make a change to it. It took about 10 minutes. Previously, that would have taken about 3 weeks to find the code, to write the code, to test the code, everything. So 10 minutes is a lot better than 3 weeks. Like I said, we've been around for a while, so we've funded over $2.3 billion. We have, and we're 100% vendor focused. So we get all of our transactions through vendors or brokers. So those are the two areas, and in this case, it's mostly brokers, but we have over 4,000 of them. We do transactions starting at $500. And that's really kind of how we grew up as a company, is doing micro ticket deals. So we start at 500. Our legal lending limit is 1.5. We do instant approvals up to $15,000, and our credit is a pretty wide credit spectrum. Anything from an A company's been around for a long time, well established, to a startup, brand new startup, never been in business, just starting off brand new. So next slide. So these are the industries that we're in. There's about 34 here. There's actually a couple that are missing. There's probably 32 because there's a couple that we don't do in the broker business that we do in our normal course of business. So we took those ones off. But you can see it's a wide variety of equipment, material handling, pet care equipment, salons, telephone systems, security systems, software, commercial laundries, auto repair, heavy construction, fitness equipment, point of sale, restaurant. So the way we're divided up, there's really 5 different or 6 different groups, if you will. So one is the broker group, which is Caitlin's part of that. I run that business along with our sell side business. So there's Caitlin and Bob Crowley who are on the broker side. So we get business from brokers for all this type of equipment. We have a restaurant group, as it sounds like, they do restaurants. We have a POS group that focuses only on POS systems. We have a diversified group that's diversified. So take out POS, take out restaurant, and all these other fit into the diversified group. We bought a company at the beginning of the year called DCC, which is Diversified Communications Capital. They focus on waste management equipment and medical equipment. So those are 2 of our other verticals. And then we bought a company here, I think it was in April or May, called Wheaton Financial, which is in the used titled vehicle space. So we're also doing used title vehicles. So big variety of equipment. You know, it's most of the stuff that gets financed today, we're out there and we're in it. Very few things do we not do. Next slide. So again, so we handle transactions 500 to 1.5. I would tell you our sweet spot is under 50,000. It's the stuff that we do well, we do quick, it's easier for us. You know, once we get over 50, you know, we're probably looking for bank statements. We do app only up to 150. Once we get over 150, we're looking for financials. But where we really excel is on those small ticket deals that a lot of other financing companies just don't want to do, particularly the, you know, the 500, the 750, the $1,000 deals. You know, that's where we really specialize. We also, as I said, we do instant approvals on deals for 15 and under. So 15,000 and under. Typical app only deals are done in 2 to 4 hours. If we have to spread the numbers, you know, we got financials. It's like a day. It's not a long period of time. We do all kinds of businesses, as I said, large companies, small companies, startups. Again, you know, I'm brand new, starting a business. I need money. We're certainly capped at the amount of money that we can give them. But, you know, typically it's about $50,000 that we would do for them. We're very quick. Again, because we're vendor focused, you know, everything we do is catered to the vendor or the broker and making your life as easy, as simple as possible. And the way we do that is using technology. Again, as I said, we're going through this big, huge technology upgrade, but the surrounding systems have always been there. The technology has always been there. I was on a video conference earlier today about embedded finance. So it's essentially putting in, you know, a button on a website, if you will. If I'm a consumer or if I'm a business, I'm going to buy a piece of equipment, you know, I want to buy it, I want to finance it, I want to order it, I want it shipped, I want it all in the same session, and we can facilitate that. So next slide, Caitlin. So different products that we offer today. So I'm telling you, so today we do offer a fair market value lease. We do a split funding, which involves more than one party. We do dollar out leases. We have a lease to own product. We go from 14 months up to 16 months. The 14 months is a special product that we have out there. We do deferred programs. We can do skip payments. So the one thing that you're not seeing on this list today is an EFA, Equipment Finance Agreement, because we don't offer those today because we were founded as a leasing company that did leases and everything. So, but it is in the roadmap to get done this year. So we have to go get licensed. So when you do EFAs, you're going to get licensed in every state to do a loan. We're in the process of doing that right now. We're moving. So right now, most of the titled stuff that we do is quote unquote off book. So we use partners to do that. But we're also creating an on book titled vehicle program that we'll have by the end of the year. We're in the process of rolling out a premier partner program for our brokers specifically. We're offering discounting for our brokers specifically. So we're really putting a lot of time and effort into the broker business to enhance it, to make it better, to reach out to you more, to do more for you. But we wanted to give you kind of an idea right now of the products that we do offer. Next slide, Caitlin. So actually, this is Caitlin's slide because this is the process and this is what she's going to take you through. So she'll go for the rest of the presentation. Again, if you have any questions, let Monica know. One of us will jump in and we'll happy to answer it for you. So Caitlin, I'll let you go through the good stuff.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure if you did want to mention that we're doing an August promotion for site inspections here.
You're right.
For the entire month of August, normally a site inspection is required on deals over 50,000. We're raising that to 75,000, trying to do an August promotion for everyone. So if you're already signed up with us and you're interested in learning more, feel free to reach out at any time. If not, if you'd like to get set up and learn more, of course, reach out at any time and we can walk you through the steps of getting set up with us. It's normally it's an electronic application right at timepayment.com. You submit the application to become a broker with us. Those are normally reviewed within the same day, so they're pretty quick about them. And then that's where your broker transaction process comes into play. Once you're an approved broker with us, you get access to our portal. The Info Hub portal is where you submit new vendors for approval. Step 1 and step 2 are kind of simultaneous. It's whichever lead you have first. If you know the vendor or the customer, just submit whoever you are aware of. But vendors need to be submitted. The customers need to be submitted, of course. And then, like Mark had mentioned, anything under 15,000 can potentially auto score. Deals over 15,000, you should have an answer within 2 to 4 hours. Larger deals over, I'd say maybe 50,000, like Mark had mentioned, may take a little bit longer than 4 hours, but we're still fairly quick. You should have an answer within a day's time. Step 3, you get to monitor that application status in the Info Hub portal at any time. You can submit applications at any time as well. If you're getting a lead at 9 o'clock at night and you don't want to wait to submit it, definitely put it in as soon as possible. If it doesn't auto score, it will be reviewed the following business day. Once you have an approval, you're able to create quotes, generate a quote for the customer. The customer selects a term that moves us on to step 4, where you do create the lease agreement right in the portal as well. But most of the information pre-fills, so it's usually just a couple of clicks. You're basically entering just the equipment description, and you're ready to send the documents out for electronic signatures. From there, after the customer signs, our delivery and verification of it, whichever, however the vendor's set up, if they're approved for pre-funding, we would release the pre-funding at that point. We have a couple of different options for when it comes to paying a vendor, so it really just depends on each vendor's setup individually. But step 6, you get paid. ACH payments available. We do same-day funding every day. So if you're funding a deal today, you're gonna get paid today. It really is fast. We understand everyone wants their money as fast as possible, so we definitely recommend ACH setup for both you guys and the vendors, just to try to speed up the payment process for everyone. On the lessee side, the application for the customers, You guys do submit the customers. This one goes a little bit more in depth with it. So if it's under 15,000, you should get an instant decision. If not, within a couple of hours, you should get that decision. From there, you can generate that quote. Again, once the term's selected, you're ready to create the lease agreement, send the lease agreement out for signatures. If you're using your own system or our system, we use DocuSign if it signs it electronically. As soon as the customer signs that agreement, it comes back to us immediately. Our funding team reviews it and we're ready to start funding. So depending on how that vendor's set up, we may be immediately releasing funds the same day. But again, we definitely recommend ACH for everyone. Our system, one of the things that I love about it is it does give you guys notifications a lot. This is a sample of what it'll look like. It'll show you the requested amount, the term length you had asked for, the approval score, and then any conditions, if there are, will be detailed there. The approval notices, again, if it's instant, you should have it within seconds of submitting the application. Decline notices, if it's also instant, they're typically for a couple, these are the main reasons that decline may typically happen. If there's poor or no personal credit of the PG. So we do require at least 4 active trade lines. If they don't have at least 4 active trade lines, they do get declined because of their limited profile. Any open recent bankruptcies may be a reason. If they potentially had a deal with us in the past that ended up getting written off at some point. We go as low as a 550 FICO. So if it's below a 550, that would be an instant decline. And then just if it's less than 4 trade lines. Like Mark mentioned, we do work with startups. So we can work with startups that are just starting, newly registered business, sole proprietorships, corporations, LLCs. If they're under 3 years time in business, we do need the owners on there. So we are checking the owner's credit. But if they have over 3 years time in business, we can do corporate only deals as well. So it's definitely worth trying a corporate only application to see if we can just connect the business credit. And I honestly think one of the best parts about TimePayment is if it is a startup and they don't have business credit, leasing with us establishes that business credit for them. We do report to the Dun & Bradstreet. So they may be starting a lease with us because they don't have any credit and they are establishing it throughout the duration of the term. So maybe in a couple of years, they don't have to personally guarantee another deal. Anytime the credit team or funding reviews an application or lease agreement, if they need additional information, you'll also get a notice then. So we do try to keep you guys updated at every step of the way. Our portal, the updates that Mark had been mentioning earlier, are also to just make it as easy for you to understand exactly where your deal is, what you need to fund it, and anything we can do to try to push it through the finish line for you. These are just some screenshots of what our portals do look like. We have 2 different portals. The Info Hub portal is for you guys where you would live and submit the customers and the vendors and quote the terms for the customers and create the lease agreements. My account is the customer portal where a customer after a deal funds, they can update their information, generate a payoff quote at any time. If they move and they update their address, they're able to access their own account details and kind of track their information at any time as well. And we do offer on-demand support for you guys. So once you're set up as a broker with us, we're here for you any day, Monday through Friday. We're here for you every day. The broker desk team, there's an inbox broker desk at timepayment.com. You would either be with myself or Bob. You can reach out to us anytime to schedule video webinars where we would share our screens, show you the portal, walk you through, and kind of go over any questions that you have. And then we do also have some self-serve videos where you can watch them anytime, and they're actually rolling out some new videos to show the updates that we're pushing through at this time.
So, Kay, let me jump in for just a second. So I want to point it out, as Caitlin just said it. We assign our brokers to a rep, and that rep is, so it'd be Caitlin or Bob. And they're dedicated to you. And we do that so they get to know your business, they get to know your people, they know what kind of products you're selling, what kind of equipment you're selling. Their job is to establish a relationship with you as the broker to make it more than just a number. You're not just going to a website or a portal and entering something. You always have a person that's dedicated to you and your account and your team to go to, whether it's an email, a text, a phone call, whatever you want to do. We do assign brokers to our reps to get the best possible support that you can get. So I want to make that distinction, because a lot of times, you get assigned and you're just going into a bank of people taking phone calls. That's not how we do it. You get assigned a person that's responsible for you and your account and growing your business and making sure you're as happy as can be.
Yep, so that is that's actually the end of the slideshow that I have here too. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. We do have, it looks like, one question in the box. What do we use for lease accounting software?
We use LeaseWave as of today. That's so our old accounting, and that was what it was the written in the COBOL system. So we're on LeaseWave as we speak. That's an interesting question. I didn't expect that one.
Yeah, it's just a reminder, if anyone has a question, please type it in the Q&A box, or you can click the raise your hand feature and I can unmute you to speak.
Yep, it looks like we have Scott Jordan raised his hand.
Great, Scott, you can ask your question.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Okay. What's you guys' policy on dealing with marijuana companies and equipment?
We don't, because even though we're privately held, we have a bank line with a bank. So I will tell you that we've looked into it. And I will say, like every other lender, we want to do it. We think it's a good business. There's ways around the federal banking laws. You just have to have a separate bank account with a credit union or a state local bank. So we're looking into all those things, seeing if we can announce a product. My guess it would be later in the year before we have something, but it would be something that we would announce to all of our brokers.
Thank you.
I mentioned earlier also, we're kind of kicking off a discounting program where you as the broker, it's on your docs, you collect the first two payment, you collect whatever fees that you do up front, and then you discount it to us, and it's assigned to us with full notice, and we take over the servicing. But that is something, we did it for a while. It didn't work very well because we didn't handle it right. So we've made some changes and we're re-rolling that out. Caitlin mentioned the special for this month. That's one of the other things that we're looking to do, is just roll out monthly specials. It's just something that month, maybe you get a deal or two and it helps you and it benefits you to get a deal done. But we're trying to put more focus on better customer support for our broker community. So I mentioned what we're looking at rolling out a premier partner program, which would be for special, brokers that meet certain milestones, communicating more with our brokers, participating in shows and groups like the AACFB. So we're just trying to immerse ourselves more in the broker world. Because it's a space that we do like and enjoy working with.
Actually, speaking of the webinar, not the webinar, the conference coming up, could we maybe see a show of hands of how many of you guys are going to be there in September? Mark and I will both be there.
Yeah.
We'd love to meet some of you guys in person. David, nice. Wally, Greg, awesome.
I was just gonna say, I see several names that look familiar from the attendee list, so it's great.
Yeah, we'd love to
We're-
see you guys. We're booth, we just got our
101.
booth assignments.
We're 101.
Yep. Make sure to stop
It's
by
easy
and
to
say hi
remember.
to us.
Yep.
Well, great. I don't see any other questions. So with that, we'll kind of wrap this up. And I want to take a big thanks to all the participants and especially our valued funding source member and gold sponsor, TimePayment. Thanks for a great job. We invite everyone to meet with TimePayment in person at the Commercial Financing Expo coming up in September in Las Vegas. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.